Okay, we're back. Round two. I had a system meltdown there for a second. That's the thing with this. With this much tracking taking place, I have to wonder how well a stream is going to go. I mean, this isn't actually a lot of tracking for orchestration, and that's due to the fact that this piece, the heart of it is electronic music that is being treated like an orchestra. I'm just going to start this up and roll. And this is the area I'm talking about. This is what I'm focusing on today. there's another part that this rolls out to that I have to work on a little bit. So let's stop there and talk about this for a second. I'm just going to speak on this the same way I would be thinking on this if I were sitting here, not on a camera. So, a couple of interesting things about this ending. Let's go ahead and mark that out. Right there. Okay. So there is a little interesting thing here happening called polyrhythm. Now you might see the piece itself is listed in 6/8 time. Okay. So the count, if you listen to the count, if I turn on the metronome, I'll have to turn that on loud for you to listen to. It's going to tick off 6/8 time for you. Okay? Let me turn that up even more. There's a lot going on here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's also other ways that you can count this. And the drums, in fact, are playing in 4/4 time. So let me count that in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. See that? How that kind of breaks that up and causes this odd sensation with rhythm. And then I'll show you something else. Okay? So let me find it here. One, 2, 3, 4. So listen for those. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I switch over here to the violins, you're going to notice they're counting in 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now I'm going to bring the other strings back in. Listen to the interplay of the two, and I'm going to switch back counting this differently so that you can kind of start to get the feel of the polyrhythm. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's genuine polyrhythm there. So when you put that back in with everything else, it kind of gives it this just this movement. It's kind of pretty cool. And the reason I thought of, that I wasn't trying for polyrhythm on this track just happened that way. And that's what got me thinking really about the Perseverance space program and stuff and everything. And you think about what's happening with this rover and the helicopter that the rover took to Mars. And just getting it there. I mean, such an articulate, credible intelligences that came together to create this this incredible feat of science, So I wanted to try Okay. So I'm just going to roll some orchestration into here, some additional parts. And right now I'm going to kind of look at the woodwinds and see what's happening there. heads off there. Okay. If those aren't really penetrating, I'm going to turn them up a little bit. What we have here is punctuation taking place, and it's being offered by the woodwind section. When something's this big is happening and you're thinking, hey, Roisin, how you doing? When you're thinking about you're my one and only fan here. So this is all about you right now. I'm doing digital orchestration here. Well, how long have you been in the chat room? Like a minute or two, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I don't want to re-say stuff I've already said just to bring you up to speed on this. But also, I'm wondering again if I'm cutting out because I've got a lot of tracking going on here today with this project. So I don't know if it's going to affect my stream. Anyway, I'm working on a polyrhythm ending to a big orchestration piece right now. So these woodwinds are an example of something like if they're done right, you really don't know they're there until I take them away and I have you listen to them with and without. So I'm going to do that right now, okay? And I'm just going to mute these. I'm going to kind of go back and forth muting these a little bit. Just little things when you're talking about doing electronic music, it's sometimes like two, maybe 1, 2, 3 things that are being repeated, over and over again, and they're made loud through the use of detuning a couple of oscillators and causing some warble in the sound and stuff like that. But when it comes to orchestration, and this is why it really took me a minute to catch on to electronic music, because it's kind of the exact opposite. Orchestration, there's a lot of things happening at once, and it's a very it can be, at first, when you first try to do it, it can be a little bit daunting because, well, if you look at an orchestral score, you'd know right away there's a lot going on. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what I can do to spruce this up even a little bit more, and I'm thinking show you how this can happen. I'd like to just use violins. I mean, I've got to reorganize my tracks a little bit on this. They're kind of going crazy. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to create a new track here real quick. Just bear with me. This is ensemble articulations for the string part of the orchestra. This is a library by Cinesamples that I use pretty frequently. And so when you want to make something sound like it's getting bigger, the natural thing, you think that you want the biggest possible microphone positions, like you see the full mix here. And I have the close mics, the room mics, and the surround mics. And when I switch those, hear that difference? That's from the back of the room miking it. And this is right up on it. For me, the way I do this is I use either Divisi sections or I use spot microphones to really announce the hell out of these things. So I'm just going to create a region here real fast. And I'm going to drop in here and go to the modulation. The strength and power of Cinesample's libraries, how hard the bow hits the string, is controlled by modulation. So listen. This is, of course, going to be loud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a space now in the woodwinds so that I can do something in the strings. Okay. Okay. Let me go here. Do that one more take. Okay. Right, I'm just going to get these perfectly on time now. I'm going to quantize those out. And I'm going to drop them back 50 milliseconds to accommodate the amount of time it takes the string to hit the bow, so they're dead on. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to sweeten them up even more here in a second. Okay. I've got a little mistake in there. Okay. So now, as if that wasn't complicated enough, right? So now the length of the length of the note is controlled by velocity in Cinesample's library. So when I have these velocities up, they're going to play long and full. So let me show you the difference between a long and full. What we don't want is long and full. What we want is short and poppin'. This is called, staccato on the bow. It helps sometimes when you can kind of like verbalize these things, when you can listen to what's happening and you say ta 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 tita ta 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 tita taka ta taka ta taka taka taka, and listen to how your voice is reacting with what's happening in the symphony. So you get a realistic thing going on there. But listen to the difference now. Okay. And I'm just calling these things out as I hear them right now. And something that's fun to do when you have a section like that happening is to create some ting-tangs. Ting, 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 ting. I'm going to go to the chord tails. Hang on a second. going to go to... Okay. Okay, so probably be... Let me just try to hear it in my head here. It can be done a couple of different ways. Sometimes in a situation, there is no perfect way to do this. There's just ways, so you can wind up picking the one you like. So I'm just going to give this a couple shot from a couple of different angles. Roisin says, I'm back. Yes, I'm back, Roisin. I'm back. I'm going to be doing this all the time again, I guess. See how it goes. Okay, I'm going to simmer that down now. So I went further than what I wanted to do, so now I'm just going to reel it back in on the volume level just a little bit. Let's pull those down into the mix a little better. So at this stage of this, when I'm putting these things in, when you think about the scale of a project like this, what you want to do is not put stuff off. Really, you don't. You want to get... there's a time when you use placeholders really quick just to keep the process moving and flowing and flowing and flowing. But then you want to kind of dial it in, because if you leave all this stuff to the end of the project, it's just going to get to a point where you're ready to jump off a cliff. I should have said that. Okay, so now I'm going to move from an ensemble patch now to dialing this into the actual violin 1 section. And you're going to notice there's going to be a big change in the sound in this sample I'm using. This is... Okay. And I'm going to switch that out now to a violins 1 patch, and this is going to work so much better. It's going to work so much better now. See, I use the ensemble patches because I can write more than one note at the same time. When you switch into the actual instrument patches, like violins 1 articulations, I'm not going to be playing 2 notes at the same time. I'll explain here a little more. So we're going to call this violins 1, and this is going to be violins 2. Okay. So what happens is I'm going to take this now, and I'm going to grab it. I'm going to split it in 2. And then up here on the violins 1, I'm going to get rid of the low notes, keep the high notes. And on violins 2, I'm going to get rid of the high notes, and I'm going to keep the low notes. So now the sections are working in tandem. Oh, same thing here. Let's not forget to where am I at here. I got to delete the lows. This is violins 1, deleting low notes. Violins 2, deleting the uppers. Okay. So listen to the, I think I messed up. What did I just do? Am I losing my mind here? Wait a minute. Okay. This is how difficult this can be when you're trying to talk on a subject and do this at the same time. I hope I get better at it. It's really tricky. I suppose I will. Okay. So there we go. And these sound a lot more, you know, you're going to hear them a lot more plainly in there, so I'm going to have to dial them in. Sounds a lot more realistic now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the samplers up to full, and then I'm going to dial it in on the board. Wow, mamacita. Okay. Hang on, everybody. That's not nice violins. Bad violins. Bad violins. Still a little much. 0.6. Okay. Ooh, this is getting exciting. All right. Now, let's talk about the lead in here. I'm noticing something. I just want to pay attention to how I'm coming into this section. So there's a lot of different ways you can come into a section like this. One is that I could just do the classic timpani roll, where basically it's like that, you know, boom, loud. And I like that that's happening with the kick drum in there. That was actually the drums in this section are really temp drums. Okay, I haven't made any final decisions on them. I knew I wanted a big kick, I knew I wanted some toms, and I knew I wanted a snare, and just so happens I was able to dial some temporaries in really fast. It seemed like they're working pretty darn good, so they might just stay. What I want to do is accent these hits, though. I'm going to take a look at what's going on. Let me think about this for a second. All right, well, I hate it when it does that. Why is it doing that? is all this? What is all that noise? Shows you how little I've looked at these drums. Something there does not sound right to me. Hang on here a minute. Okay, there's something going on in that chain. I'm going to have to look closely at that. Pull these out of here. We pardon a moment here for station break technical difficulties. Just I'm temping some sound into there. Temping some sound in there to get some oomph going. Oh, thanks, Roisin. That's cool. I'm just glad you're here. I'm really, really grateful. Thanks for being here. It's nice to have a friend here. Okay, let's make that a little more powerful now. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to use a module called Storm Drums by East West. You know, it's amazing. They come out with so many new kinds of drum programs, and, you know, first thing everybody does is runs out and buys the new ones because the new ones are better than the old ones. The new ones are always better than the old ones. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. It's a frickin' drum. I mean, I'm going to say it. It's a fucking drum. No, that's too tappy. Let me try it. I'm not feeling that. I'm thinking something. Let's try a taiko drum. Let me turn these up. That's the one for now. Oops. Wow. Shit's flying everywhere. So what you can do is take and repeat an idea. know if it's going to stick or go. Okay. What else do I want to do? Definitely going to add some cymbal power here, so I might as well just get on that now. I'm going to go to the Hollywood percussion library. It's just funny how people come and spam your chat rooms and everything else. It's like, if people could just understand how little people care about their shit that they're spamming, they would probably stop doing it. But you would think that. And the answer is no. So this Constantinople crash works well with the 22-inch Zildjian crash. So let's start with this one. I'm going to turn it down before we deafen everybody from here to... No, I'm not talking about you, Roshin. I'm talking about this douchebag here above you, whoever that guy is. I don't know who. Buy followers and viewers by, clicking on my shit. Yeah, man, I'll make you famous. Just click on this, I'm telling you. And it's like probably a link straight to Pornhub. That's where that belongs. Sounds like somebody knocking on a door. So these ideas basically kind of like are a little bit splurged in as much as I'm not really thinking about the quality of them so much right off the bat. I'm doing a little bit more quality invasive stuff, like when I know I need to fix strings to violins 1 and stuff like that. That's just, I know that's a technical thing that I want to do. I'll do that. But when it comes to evaluating the quality of a drum line on the first take, whatever else, this is something where literally walking away for 2 or 3 days and having 2 or 3 days of calendar time to come back and listen to this again. I don't know. For me, something magical happens. It's like I can hear, and I think this is kind of some of the training I've had with Make Music Your Life program. It's kind of like it just, questions get answered somehow. I don't trust my thoughts on something right off the bat in the first take. Let's go back to the percussion. Let's talk about a nice timpani roll. It's going to be a crescendo, flautando. They do that. When you press down an octave on a timpani roll, they've always done this. They aren't the same length, which makes no sense in any world ever. Hear that? So then you got to take and write both of them in. You got to trim one of them and all that. It's like, hey, whoever came up with that idea? No. On this first one, let's going to get them in time. That's not something I like to wait around on. When it comes to timing, I like to get that right. Do the top one first. It's coming a little early. 4. There it is. Okay, and then the next one. Just bear with me here for a sec. That one's right on. Perfect. Okay, now this guy. Let's do the exact opposite. Almost. 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 Gotcha. All right. Oh, I could just do this shit all day. People wonder why I'm crazy. Hey. God made me this way. I like to organize my socks due to color and size and manufacturer. That's what I'm talking about. Nice and toy like a toiga. Oh, can you feel that, baby? Oh, mamacita. These drums are talking dirty to me. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Okay. We're not done yet. No, sir. No, sir. Not done yet. You know what? Yeah, there's this weird drum that East West makes. It's they call it the Middle Earth drum. Middle Earth Ensemble. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull this off. Horrible. That'll be better. Okay, hang on a minute here. I gotta do the same shit I did before. And that's just so off. It's not even the same time zone. No. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? No. There we go. Can we agree to disagree? Right? Oh my God, can you believe it? It's on. All right. My name is Jay Zildjian. I don't know about that knocking on a door thing. That's starting to get on my nerves. But, you know, some ideas sound really good on paper. Then you see them or hear them, and it's like, which is pretty much half of everything I do. Welcome to the music business. I think what we need in there is a really hot drum fill. Boom. Boom. Something, you know, to instead of that knocking on the door bullshit. As a matter of fact, I think we can just call that one dead. I'm going to do another idea on that probably, but not today. Okay, still not done. Big moments are big. So this is why they take time. Okay. Orchestral, percussion, metals, cymbals, cymbal pairs, 38-inch large tam-tam. Well, nothing says there's important shit getting ready to happen like a 38-inch gong. Okay. And that cymbal is going to get doubled too. So I've got the, hang on a minute here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and double this. Actually, 20-inch constant cymbal. Okay. We're going to bring in a 22-inch Zildjian on top of that. Mm-hmm. 22-inch Zildjian crash. Okay. I'm going to de-time them by a millisecond or two. 1, 2, just like that. Oh, yes. JC Likey. Okay. Alright, let me see how this is all feeling. I'm just going to chill here for a minute.
folk style trill, a little trilly trill.
This is going to benefit a lot for some mixing and getting the leads into the lead position and trimming some of these guys' hair. Gonna put a chicken in there, Roisin. So that blast of reverb there, coming into the end of that phrase, or not reverb. It's an affected reverb. It's made by Baby Audio. It's so badass. That was a complete accident and did not intend for that to happen. It was a send that is cranked up all the way, and it pretty much defined the reverb for me that's going to be used for a lot of this mix on the pads and even on the lead, although dialed into more, graceful norms. I mean, that was a complete and utter accident, and you gotta love it. It's an accident, and it's staying forever. Okay, so one other thing I might want to try here a little bit. So we've got the violins divided now, and generally speaking, we'll take this over the top. And it could definitely just blow up in my face trying this. I have no idea if it's even going to work, but I'm hearing it in my head. And it tells me when that's happening, I should probably try. And that is to double this trumpet line that is happening in the finale here. I'll show you the trumpet line I'm talking about. Where are we at? Man, I've got to reorganize this project a little bit. Just a little bit. Although it's not doing too bad, I have to say. I'm pretty darn impressed. Let me just take a look here. that guy. Let me just show you what's going on there. Let me mute that brass section out from the finale. There's the brass back. So I'm going to pop him up just a little bit so I can hear him more clearly, because I think he's got room to grow. So I'm just going to push him. You know, maybe it's a she. Maybe it's a she. Okay, I don't want to push him up too loud because the strings are going to come in and match him now. And they might even do a harmony, maybe. And again, this is one of those things, this is why you have to experiment, because sometimes, a lot of times I hear something like this and oh yeah, it turns out even better than I thought because of this and at that and everything else. And sometimes I do this and it's an absolute train wreck. So, you know, there's that. I don't want to do that. Hang on a minute here. So I'm going to create a new software instrument track. I'm going to use set of samples. Set of strings core. And for now, I'm going to use the ensemble patch until I dial it in. And I'll just go ahead and use the sustains. Okay, let me pull them up into the mix here. What do you think about how I want to do this? I'm going to need a lot more heat on those. So I'm going to reach into the modulation. I'm going to jack them. I'm also going to turn up the vibrato on these because that will help them penetrate and sound more colorful and articulate. That's controlled by breath. Let's set that to maximum. Okay. Now, there's two different ways to do this. This could be done, and this is like one of those big things in orchestration, okay? You don't always just reach for a legato patch. Now, this is a legato patch. Okay? But there's also patches that do what's called a long marcato, okay? Where it's, so let me just vocalize this. This is like, dee da dee dum ba. Or a marcato is la, 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 like that. Sometimes shorter voicings work better than longer voicings, and it really depends on what's happening in the material around it. Lots of times, and this applies to electronic music too, if you've got staccato lines happening, go for a legato voice for this next thing that you're going to do. If you've got a lot of legato lines going, go for a staccato. What you're doing is you're changing texture. That outward. What's going on here? What's going on, Hill? Why am I not hearing that? Thank you. Okay, this is weird. That's getting a little insane up there. What do you think about this? You can also choose to go in a harmonization instead of a doubling. It's definitely working. And it's going to work better too when it's mixed in and it's got some reverb on it. It's nice and wet and it's, got some nice tone. Let me try a harmony instead. Gonna keep noodling around with this, having fun with it, just splurging it. I'm gonna leave it in there like that for now, and I'm gonna let that cook at a nice 250 degrees for about 6 to 8 hours, and serve that, with a nice fresh set of ears in the morning. Okay, so what I need to do now is I'm going to need to tack the ending on here, which I'm going to be cutting back to the piano part, and I already have that kind of written in another sequence, so I'm just going to grab that and bring it in here. Man, is this baby getting close. It is so close. I can, I should say that this is the thing, we talk about so much is, how do we know when something's finished? How do we, when do we put something away? When do we, and it really comes back to, is it fulfilling the purpose, what it is you want it to do? And that's like I've been talking about this earlier. Is there any way that purpose could have been fulfilled in some way that is going to change the experience for the listeners out there, or for myself, or whatever else? I think we're reaching the place on this track where the answer to the arrangement part of this, the writing part of this, the generative genesis, creation, evolution of it, and everything else, I think it's there. I mean, I might add these things that I'm even adding here now, aside from that violin thing these things that I put in here this session are very noticeable when you take them away. There's not much else, and to start adding anything else now, is a question of diminishing returns as far as this climax section is concerned. Maybe just a splash of woodwind color, something like that, and making sure that I get the transition, the drum intro exactly where I want it to. And that's going to take a fresh set of ears. And that's the other important part about this too, is to not force this all at once. I know it's nice to set deadlines, and hey, listen, in a world where you've got some person saying to you, hey, listen, this has to be on my desk by 9 a.m. tomorrow. I need to have a finished copy. This needs to be listened to, and we need to approve this because it's got to be cut to film, or it's got to be this or that. I get that. And it's important to have deadlines as well. You can't just work an open-ended on something, because that can be just highly destructive. But there's just a lot to be said for coming back with a set of fresh ears. And then, of course, the important thing is and I've learned this the hard way, and kind of got a course correction on it from the help of Mike, my coach on this. It's kind of like, this was the real eye opener for me. Are you changing things because it's realizing something important, or are you changing them because you're just tired of the way it sounds and you need to keep changing something so it sounds different, so that you keep getting this self-perpetuated sense of, ooh, oh, wow, that's amazing, oh, yeah, that sounds great. And then, of course, you listen to that 5,000 times and it loses that glimmer, that zing, and you wind up changing things, and then it just utterly destroys what it is. This is where this purpose thing comes in big as life for me. What could the purpose of this music to be? This track is a vehicle delivery for my interpretation of neoclassical music, and I'm using it as the Perseverance soundtrack for the Mars rover, and it's getting it. I'm happy with that. So, well, Roisin, thanks for joining me once again. And I'm going to probably take a break for a little bit, and I'm probably going to come right back on. I think I'm just going to keep videoing a lot of my sessions. I suppose maybe there's something in here as I'm doing this that could be of use to somebody out there, and they might find it interesting and stuff. Apparently you're here, so it can't be that bad, Roisin. And I just hope anybody that comes onto this video gets something good from it. Okay, well, bye-bye then. See you soon.